where the memories stay, past the fields and fences worn by yesterday. Pull up a chair, friend, come along with me. There's a story waiting round every old oak tree. Rusty's Backroad Stories, where the miles roll by with a little bit of laughter and a tear in your eye. So settle in close and let the memories flow. Rusty's Backroad Stories, down the roads we know. You're listening to Rusty's Backroad Stories.
Well, friend, there are sounds you hear so many times you eventually stop noticing them. A church bell on Sunday morning, a train whistle somewhere beyond the trees, rain tapping against an old tin roof. But in a little place called Miller's Crossing, there was one sound nobody ignored, an old brass bell hanging beside an abandoned railroad station. The trains stopped coming years ago. The station closed. But every evening, at exactly 6 o'clock, someone rang that bell. And for more than 30 years, nobody knew why. This is the bell at Miller's Crossing. Miller's Crossing wasn't really a town anymore. Years ago, it had been. There was a general store, a feed mill, a little white church, and a railroad station where passenger trains stopped 4 times a day. But when the highway came through, things changed. The general store closed, the mill shut down, families moved away, and eventually, the railroad stopped sending passenger trains through Miller's Crossing. The old station remained, weathered boards, broken windows, a faded sign barely hanging above the platform, and beside the station, an old brass bell. Every evening at exactly 6 o'clock, clang. One single ring. People driving down County Road 6 could hear it. Farmers working nearby could hear it. Children riding bicycles could hear it. Nobody paid much attention anymore. They simply knew. 6 o'clock meant the bell would ring. The person ringing it was an 81-year-old man named Charlie Webb. Charlie had worked at the station when he was young. He started carrying luggage when he was 16. Later, he sold tickets. Eventually, he became station master. When the station closed in 1989, Charlie kept coming back. Every evening, 6 o'clock, one ring, for 34 years. One afternoon, a teenage boy named Jake Morrison stopped his bicycle near the station. Charlie was sitting on an old bench. Jake had heard the bell his entire life. Finally, curiosity got the better of him. "Mr. Webb?" Charlie looked up. "Yeah, son? Why do you ring that bell?" Charlie smiled. "I wondered when somebody was finally gonna ask." He motioned toward the bench. "Sit down." Jake sat beside him. Charlie stared toward the abandoned railroad tracks. Then he began. It was the summer of 1967. Charlie was 21 years old. The Vietnam War was on everybody's mind. Young men from small towns across America were leaving home. Some came back, some didn't. One of those young men was Charlie's best friend, Robert Hayes. Charlie and Robert had grown up together. They fished the same creek, played baseball behind the church, got into trouble together, and dreamed about buying motorcycles and riding across the country. But Robert was drafted. The morning he left, nearly the entire community gathered at the station. Robert's mother cried. His father shook his hand. Charlie tried to make jokes. Neither young man wanted to admit they were scared. When the train arrived, Robert climbed aboard, then leaned from the doorway. "Charlie." "Yeah? When I come home, ring that bell loud enough for the whole county to hear." Charlie laughed. "I'll ring it twice." Robert grinned. The train pulled away. Charlie watched until it disappeared. Months passed. Letters arrived. Robert wrote about home, fishing, his mother's biscuits, the motorcycle he still planned to buy. Then, the letters stopped. One afternoon, Robert's parents received the news. Robert Hayes had been killed in action. He was 22 years old. The whole town mourned. When Robert's body returned home, the train arrived at Miller's Crossing at 6 o'clock in the evening. Charlie stood alone beside the tracks. As the train slowed, he reached for the bell rope and rang it. Clang, then again, clang. Just like he'd promised. 2 rings. Robert had come home, just not the way anyone had prayed he would. Jake sat silently beside Charlie. "So that's why you ring it?" Charlie nodded. "Partly. Why only once now?" Charlie looked toward the tracks. First ring was for Robert. The second was to tell everybody he was home. Charlie paused. "After that day, I figured there were plenty of other families waiting for somebody. Soldiers, truck drivers, kids who moved away, people fighting battles nobody else could see. So I kept ringing it. 1 ring, every evening. A little reminder that somewhere, somebody's hoping you'll make it home." Jake looked at the old bell differently after that. 3 months later, Charlie didn't come to the station. 6 o'clock arrived. No bell. People noticed immediately. For the first time in decades, Miller's Crossing was silent. The next morning, word spread. Charlie Webb had passed away peacefully during the night. He was 82. At his funeral, the church overflowed. Veterans came, farmers came, former railroad workers drove from other states. People Charlie hadn't seen in decades returned to Miller's Crossing. After the service, everyone gathered at the old station. 6 o'clock approached. People looked toward the bell. Nobody knew what to do. Then Jake stepped forward. He grabbed the rope, and at exactly 6, clang. 1 ring echoed across the fields. Jake started to walk away. Then he stopped. He looked toward Charlie's empty bench, reached for the rope again. Clang. 2 rings. An old veteran in the crowd removed his hat, then another. People began crying, because everybody understood. Charlie had finally made it home, too. Years later, the old station still stands today. The county restored it with help from local volunteers. There's a small museum inside now. Photographs line the walls, old railroad schedules, uniforms, tickets, and 2 photographs hanging beside each other, Robert Hayes and Charlie Webb. Outside hangs the same brass bell. Every evening at 6 o'clock, a volunteer rings it once, but every Memorial Day. They ring it twice, once for those who left, and once for those who never got the homecoming they deserved. Beneath the bell is a small plaque. It reads, "Somebody is always waiting for you to come home." You know, friend, home isn't always a house. Sometimes home is a person. Sometimes it's a town. Sometimes it's just knowing there's somebody somewhere who'll notice when you walk through the door. We spend a lot of our lives trying to get somewhere. A better job, a bigger house, another accomplishment, another mile down the road. But eventually, we learn something. The people waiting for us are more important than the places we're trying to reach. So if you're lucky enough to have somebody waiting, don't take that for granted. Call them. Visit them. Tell them you're coming home, because one day, we all run out of road. And when that day comes, I think the greatest thing any of us could hope for is knowing somebody would have rung the bell for us. Well, friend, that's our story for tonight, and wherever the road has taken you today, I hope there's a light on, a door unlocked, and somebody happy to see you coming. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road, your heart open, and remember, every back road has a story.